What's going on, guys? So in this video, I wanted to discuss with you my 3 current favorite indie fragrances at the moment. These are from 3 different houses, 3 indie brands that I really believe in, that are putting out really good work, and I felt like it was a good time to really put some spotlight on these 3 particular brands with these 3 particular fragrances that I believe, now it's based on personal taste obviously, but are the highlights of the house. These are my 3 favorite fragrances that they offer, and they all fit the current season. So let's talk about them. Stay tuned. Starting with my favorite from City Rhythm Fragrance. Shout out to Niles. He is doing remarkable work. He's reinvesting his money and improving his presentations, creating new scent DNAs. He is doing wonderful work with City Rhythm Fragrance, and my favorite is definitely San Diego Pacific Sunset. This is a beautiful fragrance, and then these bottles he's upgraded to, because I have some of the original bottles, which were no slouches, but these metal plaques with this, rock design at the bottom, and it reflects the color of the juice. I mean, he's stepped up his presentation exponentially from when he began. So kudos for that first and foremost. Because presentation is not the most important thing, but it does matter to a lot of people. It shows you're trying hard, But the scent profile here, it definitely fits the theme. San Diego Pacific Sunset. So I do picture summer's eve. This can definitely work in the daytime, but it's very airy, breezy, has this beechwood note, and sea breeze, I think is the accord. Yeah, sea breeze in the base. In the top, you got citruses, heliotrope, sea salt, lavender. There's a lot of aromatics, but that sea salt's definitely there in the top, but it's not overdone to make it a very salty fragrance, but it does help to encapsulate that salty sea breeze smell in the air of being by the beach on the coastline. That's probably the thing I dig the most about this one. There's other notes. There's jasmine. There's different florals, things like that. They have almond, iris, violet leaf, and such. The only thing that the violet leaf really comes across is very aquatic in this one. He's used violet leaf in other fragrances like Manhattan, and it's given a little bit of a watery feel, where here I think mixed with the other aquatic tone notes such as the beechwood, the sea breeze accord, and the sea salt, mixing with a little bit of lavender, really helps bring this watery oceanic feel to the forefront of the fragrance that stays from start to finish. This really is a stunning fragrance. It's a 50% oil concentration, and it lasts a really freaking long time. You can get samples, you can get travel atomizers, you can get smaller sized bottles that are, I guess, technically large decants on up to 50 mLs like this. You're paying for quality, you're paying for originality, and that's exactly what you're getting from City Rhythm Fragrance. Miami Tropical Seduction would be a close number 2, but this one, oh man. Pacific Sunset. I love that went into the name with San Diego, because it's themed around his travels to San Diego in the beach side of San Diego, and it really gives that sunset, summer's eve feeling, like I said before. Really, really good stuff. Probably, I still say you should try Miami Tropical Seduction as one of your first options from him, because it's just such a great fragrance. But this is the one. If I have to just pick one, that's why this is the one being featured. You should really get your nose on this. And 'tis the season. It fits summertime perfectly. City Rhythm Fragrance, San Diego Pacific Sunset. Now, while there are a ton of spicy and gourmand and coffee fragrances from this brand, the most mass appealing and freshest from the house, of course, is my favorite. Of course, it's the one I wear the most, because Happyland Studio puts out a ton of great stuff. E.J. Wells does very, very good work, and I know it's above 30% with his oil concentration, so the performance is always there. All 3 of these fragrances, all 3 of these houses, the performance is always there. But Shameless from Happyland Studio, some of you probably guessed this that are familiar with the channel and my taste. This is my favorite. This is the one I keep reaching for. It opens up with some bitter citrus, a little bit of this bitter orange, tart blackcurrant type of smell. really starts to move into this slightly soapy aromatic lavender feel, a touch of vanilla. There's a little hit of ambergris early on that gives us kind of a salty, aquatic blue feel to the fragrance. And as it starts to dry, you get a little bit more sweetness from the vanilla. The lavender kind of takes a hold of the fragrance without being this too heavy, cloying lavender smell. And the ambergris kind of just turns it into a blue fragrance. Even though it's got an orange label, this is pretty much the blue fragrance, the fresh blue fragrance from Happyland Studio. And I love that about this fragrance. It'll fool you. You'll see the note breakdown and say, hey, that's similar to Aventus. There's a lot of Aventus notes going on in there. And that was my first thought the first time I saw the note breakdown too. But when you smell it, very, very faint resemblance in the top to Aventus, and it really changes really quickly into something completely different. Where I would say maybe a touch of Aventus meets Bulgari Aqua Amara meets, I'm trying to think of a heavy ambergris base blue fragrance. That's not YSLY, but because I don't get YSLY vibes here, but that's heavy ambergris blue fragrance. But think stuff along those lines where the ambergris comes across more aquatic and oceanic, more so than just salty and musky. This is really, really good stuff. Super versatile. The most mass appealing and versatile fragrance from Happyland. EJ typically doesn't do this type of mass appeal and this type of freshness, which is not the freshest fragrance in the world, don't get me wrong, but for EJ's standards, for what Happyland normally puts out, this is as fresh as it gets. His words as well. So really I really think this is the one to get your nose on. There's much more artistic, heavy, cool weather stunners from the house to try, but if you want something safe, it's really fresh and versatile, this is my favorite, and it's the one for summer, in my opinion. Happyland Shameless. So this is one of my favorite discoveries of 2022 because I still can't believe it managed to take the title from Summer Vibez 2.0 as my favorite from the house. We're talking about Authenticity Perfumes, obviously. Summer Vibez 2.0 was the green label. This is now the 4th rendition with the yellow label called Summer Vibez 4.0. And what's special about this one, this, again, they use 50% oil concentration. So, again, performance is not an issue. It smells like taking sliced pineapple wedges out of an ice chest because there's a frozen mint leaves note and this juicy pineapple note that just hits you in the nose immediately when you spray it through the atomizer. It's amazing. I've worn it a few times so far. It's pretty new to my collection. My wife's worn it twice, I believe. Very unisex, very fun, tropical, fruity scent for the summertime. Summer Vibez is a perfect name for this scent profile because, like I said, it's iced pineapple. And then as that starts to calm down a little bit, because it never goes away, you never lose the pineapple, you never really lose the mint. They just kind of calm down a little bit and let some other notes join in the party, such as this nice marine tone that gives more of a watery feel that really kind of just adds even more juiciness to the scent profile overall. It's a very juicy type of scent profile. And then you do get this beautiful, beautiful, slightly soapy, clean musk with some aromatics and a nice, clean, woody base in the backdrop hours and hours into the fragrance's life as it dries down. Again, there's several other great offerings from the house. Barbershop, one of the best barbershop type of lathering foam type of barbershop scent profiles I've ever smelled. It's one of my top 3 favorites of all the barbershop style fragrances that I have. It falls right behind fragrances like At the Barber's from Mason Margiela, for example, in the replica line, which it does have some similarity to that, but not necessarily the same scent. Happyland's version, called Barbershop, again, another phenomenal leather-based and orange type of barbershop fragrance. And then Authenticity's version's right there with the Happyland version, because they all 3 offer a different take on a classic traditional barbershop style scent profile. So that's something, if you're looking to get away from the more fruity, fresh summer tone fragrances, that I would suggest checking out from them because they make a great barbershop fragrance. There's others that they do very well, but it's kind of my favorite behind the Summer Vibez line. And this is the king of the crop, king of the mountain, king of the hill, however you want to look at it. When it comes to the 4 versions of Summer Vibez that has come out, they've all had something special to offer, in my personal opinion, for my taste. I love that it's become a yearly tradition for the brand at this point, but this is going to be hard to top. 2.0 was hard to top. 3 was really good, but it didn't top 2.0. 3 was kind of like a fresh bowl of fruits with mangoes and melons and stuff like that. It really had a unique tropical fruit smell to it. Here, you don't lose the tropical fruit smell. It's just really based around one tropical fruit. with mint, clean musk, and aquatic tones. The best from the house, in my opinion. Summer Vibes 4.0 from Authenticity Perfumes. Well, that is the 3 that I wanted to discuss with you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried all 3 of these, just one of these, or what do you think about them? Did they spark your interest and you're like, you know what? I need to get samples, because all 3 of these brands offer samples, custom sample packs, full house sample packs. There's ways to try these fragrances without having to commit to a bottle, and they all provide something special for the current season that we're in my opinion. Obviously, there's a bunch of great offerings from all 3 houses. It's mainly spotlighting the 3 houses in this video with my 3 favorites that just so happen to be themed for the current season. That was by coincidence, because they just happen to be my favorites. But until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these 3 and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.